coming this afternoon. It's lovely to see all of you here and supporting Indian Futures. All the writing today, which I and Joe are reading, is done by the Dean, and the only representative is Dermot, but it's going to be videoed, so hopefully they will see their work. The Dean is sheltered accommodation in Rottingdean, and I facilitate a small writing group. And their writing never ceases to amaze me. It is very varied, and each member has a unique style, which you will discover later on. They have also very generously given me money towards Indian Futures as a thank you for me running the group. And so far this has amounted to £135 and will be added to today's donations. I'm very grateful for Jo for taking time out of her busy life to be here, and to Roger for providing the music, and for Bea for doing the video. I now have pleasure in introducing Anna from Indian Futures, who will tell you how the money raised today will be spent. So welcome, Anna.
Thank you everyone for being here supporting Alana and the artists and Indian Futures. So I founded Indian Futures back in 2017, and we started with educational projects, and then years later we kind of realized that there was a need for us to support women in the area who weren't quite making it to university because of loads of barriers. So we started this sponsorship program that started with 10 students, and that's been going really well. It started in 2019 and it's still going. We've got the first 2 students who finished last year after the whole pandemic and everything, and they did amazingly well. And Alana is actually sponsoring one of our students, Kirtana, that you might have seen the picture of at the entrance. So all the money that we raise today will go to sponsor Kirtana Kirtana is about to finish her first year of a diploma in nursing that she's doing, and she still has another year to go. So she'll be starting the second year in August, so we hope by then we'll probably have the funds by then to pay for her last year at university. So yeah, apart from that, yeah, thank you very much for being here, and enjoy the performance.
Today's spoken word starts with a piece by Jill, and the first pieces are about the Dean, where the writing group is held. The Dean is a perfect second home for me. I say second home because my elder daughter and her husband live in my old home in Rottingdean and my younger daughter in Saltdean. It has the loveliest friendly atmosphere. I have been here 9 years and have made friends who help me when I need it. The staff are wonderful. I haven't over the years heard any arguments from the kitchen, and they are so kind, helpful and patient with us residents. The situation of the Dean is also perfect for me. It has the church just over the green, the pond where my great-grandchildren like to feed the ducks. It has the green itself outside the front door, and also the village shops and the sea within easy reach. I can no longer take advantage of these assets now, but I can enjoy the lovely garden. I feel most grateful to be living here.
The Dean by Bob. It leans on its history like an old gentleman after lunch, remembering the dark days and enjoying a nap. It thinks of when the rafters trembled to the burst of giggles or the serious tones of a wedding speech. Sometimes it remembers the empty days when it stood crumbling, ignored by the passing years, and the improvements of which he mostly disapproved, and additions he thought didn't add up. Then he remembers the day when he was told that the teachers were coming to stay. Oh God, not teachers. Self-important, mysterious, with strong opinions and patches on their elbows and nothing in the bank. In the event it wasn't so bad, some weren't teachers and very glad he was of it. Some arrived broken-hearted after a lifelong partner gone. They needed help and somewhere to lay their heads. But this old house, like the gentleman after lunch, was welcoming, kind and understanding, giving everything and demanding nothing, wrapping them all in disrespectful affection and quick humour, mending what was broken and pointing a way to a possible future. The old house liked being useful, proud of its warmth and glad of its history and incurably hopeful. This poem is by Dermot. How I love the Dean, so peaceful and serene. You are never alone, but can choose to be on your own. At the Dean I feel relaxed and in good company. 4 meals a day are found, but to attend meals you're not bound. We have a large and beautiful garden. If I boast, beg my pardon. Many hours I've whiled away on a bright and sunny day. The staff are as cheerful and friendly as can be, and help beyond the call of duty. The view from my window is sublime. I could never get tired of it over time.
And the next poem is by Max, Brickbats and Bouquets. I love living at the Dean with all the ups and downs. I didn't love being banged up when COVID turned our smiles to frowns. I love the staff, especially Julie. I thought at times she's quite unruly. I don't love it when Peter tests the fire alarm, but needs must keep us all from harm. I love the garden. Even when the sun's too hot, I go down to the bottom to my favourite shady spot. All in all, at the end of the day, this is a heavenly place to stay.
And Gina's piece. I've always seemed to live like a nomad, passing through different phases of my life. There have been places I have loved, but it is the people I have loved and love now I really call home. I came to the Dean from Wales, a very special heartland for me and my family there, but life moves on through loss, and the cosmos calls us to respond to the new that awaits us with gifts of love, laughter and sadness too, which is what I have found here. And yes, a variety of challenges, but also sanctuary and companionship and amazing kindness. The garden is a joy and was a lifeline through COVID time, connecting us to the season of the birds and plants around us, involving us with the needs and glory of the natural and bonding those of us who could meet in its shelter, ambling in a security amidst insecurity. As someone has just reminded me, ambling is a lovely word, and at my age is as comfortable as a warm room on a winter's night. And maybe we, at any age, could find a lot of benefit in ambling sometimes.
And this piece is written by Helena. What to write? It feels good writing. Writing is what I love to do. Why do I love writing? My hands hold the pen with ease. So good to write. Why? When it flows, words pour out onto the page. They have meaning. I read its meaning, writing in a group of friends at the Dean. Everyone busy writing. It all has meaning. I love writing. I never know what will come down my arm and onto the page. So here we go down and out, i.e. down my arm and onto the page. Ambling. Ambling round the garden. Amble is such a good word. On my pen is written, I don't know what. I've lost it now. In the writing group, we always write a group poem, and this is the first of several. This is a group poem on clothes. I like clothes, comfortable clothes, could be trousers and a top. In summer, I wear things that I can easily take off. Life would be hilarious if we all went without them. Clothes should be comfortable and easy to wear. Put them on without a care. Elastic waistband, my oldest t-shirts, flip-flops on my feet. These are all I seem to wear these days. I was once a slave to fashion. Now I feel free. School uniform kills the sense of the individual, makes fat children look like sausages and reduces thin ones to skeletons. It's incredible how many people choose clothes that do not flatter. I like wearing a military uniform. It reminds me of Cub and Scout days. When I was younger, I often wore black. Now I wear the colours of creation in celebration of life. I don't think much about clothes. It wouldn't be a good thing to go without, I suppose. You'd be arrested too, put in a room without a view.
The next is written by Maureen Durnett. Oh, sorry. Apologies. No, it's not. Sorry.
It's a quick song. It's about fashion. There's a can here, there's a can there. It's clothes allowed, they're never sweat. It don't make no break it, 'cause he's got to buy the best, 'cause he's dedicated all over the life. And when he does his little round, got boutiques all around the town. He got with the suit and all the latest flats and trend, 'cause he's dedicated all over the fashion. Oh yes he is, oh yes he is, oh yes he is. He said things are flower to the time. When he pulls his really narrow pattern right on top, yes he's dedicated all over the fashion. Oh yes he is, oh yes he is. Oh yes he is, oh yes he is. There's one thing that he loves and that's his flattery. 1 week since he polka dots, the next is in his stripes. Yes, he's a dedicated follower of fashion. This is him there in Regent Street and Leicester Square. Everywhere the combination army marches on, because he's a dedicated follower of fashion. Here we go. Yes, he is.
and it's a group poem on music. I like anything from pop to classical. Certain things can move you at different times. Tunes can stay in your head. Glory to God. When everyone joins in, it's marvellous. Music speaks for itself. Sound does not have hidden depths. Music joy to my ears. Welcome, stay a while and tell us your message. Music evokes emotions. It goes straight to the heart. Nimrod brings tears to my eyes. Music makes me want to dance. If it is the food of love, I shall have a feast. They say all creation sings. Travellers in space have heard the music of the stars and planets. So why do they not sing or make music too? Real music for me is the sound of a child. Learning to play a musical instrument, like a beautiful bird struggling out of its agony at first, but after the pain, the joy of freedom. Helena was listening to a meditative piece with waves kissing the shore, with the sound of a piano in the background. This reminds me of Durban standing up deep in the waves. This is exactly the sound of Durban by the sea, the very hot Durban beach. Nothing like it on earth, nothing. Walking back home, the soles of my feet start to tingle at all the sounds, the feeling. It's just the YouTube video of music, lovely piano music.
This is the sea by Max. Waves crashing onto the beach. A gull overhead lets out a screech. I drop my sandwich with a fright. Gull's eyes shine with delight. He grabs it, runs across the shingle. My nerves are bad. I feel a tingle. Red mist descending, the chase never ending. I give up in a strop. I'm going to the chip shop.
And this piece of prose is by Dermot. Oh, how I love the sea, a strange and powerful entity. My first experience of the sea was that it made me feel free. The first time I saw the sea was on a ferry to Belfast on holiday with my mother, sister and dad. It was so long ago I can't remember who else was there. I remember the seagulls so majestic and graceful across the night sky. My dad took me on deck. We fed them some of our pork pies. They'd swoop gently, taking it from your hand. We were in a large dormitory, but I was able to sneak out on deck to stand there with nothing but the sea, stretching to the horizon as far as I could see, the moon and the ship's light reflecting off the surface. The only sound, the ship's engine and the swishing sound as the boat sliced its way through the waves. It seemed as though you were the only person in the world.
And this is Jill's piece about the sea. I like the sound of the sea. Days were when I used to swim through the beach at Rottingdean. Now I cannot get down to the sea, but I'm happy when I hear my children have taken the great-grandchildren to enjoy it. I spent 3 years in the Wren, so I do feel I have a connection with the sea. I married a sailor, and when he left the Fleet Air Arm, he joined P&O. Consequently, we were able to have many holiday cruises with the children. We visited the Mediterranean and the Caribbean. Malta stands out, as in the children's nursery, they not only played with them, but they taught them how to swim, and about the places we visited. And this next piece is by Gina. The sea seeps into my mind, reaching into my heart. Come memories of a sandy beach in West Wales, where I would watch the great globe of a red gold sun majestically sinking in all its glory beneath the sea's horizon, knowing that behind me an ancient castle was sinking back into the darkening shadows of its old life. A new sun dawning would find children playing in the tiny waves at the water's edge, paddling and splashing, unaware of the dangerous depths beyond them, that mysterious life of the ocean. My life has been physically lived near the sea, but my emotional life understands the shallows and the depths, the great waves, even tsunamis of the great waters. I am a deep sea boat, but I have learnt to dive and sink into the depths of the deepest calm of the sea, just like the setting sun.
Home again, across the sea. I'm sailing, song water, to be near you, to be free. I am flying, like a bird across the sky. I'm flying, passing God, to be near you, to be free. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Through the dark night, far away. I'm flying, forever trying to be with you. Who can say? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Through the dark night, far away. I'm flying, forever trying to be with you. Who can say? We are sailing, home again, across the sea. We are sailing, stormy water, to be with you, to be free.
So this is another group poem on singing by Maureen Dermott, Helena, Alana, Mags, Gina and Bob. I like to hear singing, of course, but it's not easy for me. I can hear a tune in my head, but can't bring it out. When I was at school, the choir master asked me how long I'd been in his class. When I told him, he said, "Don't come again." I didn't mind, I left and did drawing instead. Singing is a way of letting go, stutters fly away and cares too. Singing is part of me, I have always sung. Whether I am sad or happy, I sing from my heart, and joy comes and laughter. Singing is freedom. I love to sing. It makes me feel like singing. The joy of singing is like upliftment, i.e. makes me feel like I'm being lifted to the skies. Singing I find relaxing. Others listening may find it taxing. I love singing in the shower. The acoustics are great. And no one else can hear me. Relating singing to dreams, I'm immediately back in my childhood in London's East End during the war. I had bouts of sleepwalking as a child. Mother would sit on my bed and sing me to sleep. The next subject is Memories of a Friend, and the first is by Helena. I often wondered if this would be a forever friend. As it turns out, it was. Inga was, and still is, her name. Inga Schuchold. As I write her name, memories come flooding in. We became friends at school. She was part of a group that was envied at school. It all began at one school holiday. Our parents became friends. We went to the beach together. We swam in the sea together. We always had food on the beach, so we each bought a little bag of something. This was good because we shared what we bought. My sandwiches were always a hit. I often made grated chocolate sandwiches.
And this is Gina's piece, Memories of a Dearest Friend. So many people in my heart, so many I count as friends. How do I choose? Okay, I know I cannot judge this at this time. January the 12th, 2019 was the day I kissed my husband Trevor, my best friend on earth, farewell. I let him pass into the loving arms of our God, knowing that he was safe and free from pain. So yesterday, January the 12th, 2022, was that anniversary. And yet it was such a lovely day outside in the weather and in my heart. I woke thinking of how Trevor and I met, how it was really the recognition of love at first sight, the memories of those happy, funny times of our life together, just us, was a special blessing. We met at a friend's house, meeting again the next day, not to be separated for 40 years. Marnie is another guest who joins the group when she can, and this is her memory of a friend. It's impossible to replace a very long-term friendship. One of my dearest friends I first met at school. We were new, with new uniforms which allowed for future growth just about fitted. The school was large and we felt small. Having been the big girls of primary school, we were now very lost and very unimportant. Our friendship was sealed over sympathetic looks and a mixture of helplessness. The friendship was to last nearly 70 years. After leaving school, we would go out dancing together. Afterwards, comparing the boys we had danced with. In those days, you had to wait until some brave boy walked over to you and asked you for a dance. Having faithfully taken lessons according to Victor Sylvester, we hoped that he too would know his left foot from his right, but he seldom did. Rock and roll and jiving freed us up. We would dance regardless of male attention. We would share stories and giggle in the ladies. Time moved on and we each found a partner, but marriage and families didn't come between the friendship. We would meet up and go to visits to art galleries and museums, soaking up every moment away from our different lifestyles, laughing and sharing stories we only understood. Occasionally now, I think of my old school pal when I hear a piece of music that we have both enjoyed, perhaps at St Martin's in the Fields in London, or when visiting the National Gallery and seeing a painting we had either enjoyed or thought would look better the other way up. Small memories come out of the blue unexpectedly, but the experience we shared are still very real, always poignant, and however sad, always welcome. And now, Max. They come and go, do many friends. They are with you on the straight and on the bends. They will always help or hinder, even post your profile on Tinder. They always sense when I'm in need and warm my heart with some kind deed.
And Dermot wrote this about a friend. Ian Raven was a friend of mine in the Merchant Navy. We met on Pendennis Castle, where he was a waiter like me in the tourist restaurant. He was from Portsmouth. He was married to an Australian girl called Anne. He invited me to Portsmouth to spend my 10 days leave. We went to London for the day to visit friends of his, as he used to live in London. He asked whether I would mind travelling first class, as he liked to drink from the hip flask. We went into a first class compartment. It was a hot day, and we were dressed in jeans and a t-shirt. A man dressed in a suit came in and went out. He came back with a guard who asked to see our tickets. He told us we couldn't drink in first class, but we could in the buffet car. We asked him to check the ticket of the man in the suit. It turned out his ticket was a second-class season ticket, and he was asked to vacate his seat. He said it was people like him that kept the railways
going. This is a song about friendship called Count on Me. If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of. When we're told to help our friends and me, you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know that when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall to sleep, I'll sing a song beside you. If you forget, aren't you really to me? Every day I will remind you. Find out what we'll be of when we're going to help our friends and me. 2, 3, I'll be here. And I know when I need it, I'm on you now. Don't you that? 'Cause that's what we're supposed to do. You can count on me 'cause I can count on you.
This is another group poem on the weather. Lack of daylight makes me sad, makes me sleepy, weepy, and a bit mad. I look forward to spring and the energy it will bring. Our weather is like a willful child, capable of being beautiful and warm or bad-tempered and miserable, self-pitying or generous, loving or hostile, but always with a childlike sense of humour, having the last laugh. Thinking of the weather, I think of a song, Stormy Weather. I love that song. So many songs written about falling leaves, blue skies, just singing and dancing in the rain. A dull day, the sun is far away, or deep away. Why do I love ducks? Whatever the weather, it's good to get out for a short while. Last winter, the weather was exceptionally pleasant. There was only one day that the three of us, who usually make use of the garden, were not able to get outside. This year has almost been the same. We are so fortunate we do not seem to get the extremes. What is weather? You like it or not, so put up with whatever you've got.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. I'll get the right key in a minute. Just feeling I'm happy again. I'm laughing at the clouds, so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from their place. Come on with the rain, I'll smile on my face. I'll walk down the lane with a happy refrain. Just singing in the rain.
And the next subject was, if I were an animal, what would I like to be? Actually, this one is by Gina. Actually, I am an animal, yet fortunate to have the gifts of speech and freedom at this time. I love so many creatures and have enjoyed sharing my life with many pets, finding new ways of communicating with them, giving and receiving much love. But I know how cruelly animals can be treated by uncaring owners and farmers, so I am thankful to be who I am, where I am. Yet my mind goes back to a misty morning in Dorset when I was at Hillfield Friary, and suddenly out of the mist came a mother deer and her young ones beside her. In the Friary woods, deer are protected. Her beauty and the wisdom of her eyes cast a spell in that moment as we gazed at each other in what seemed acceptance of our mortality and femininity. Then she turned and walked slowly back to her woods, her young ones running ahead and showing such pride in her own strength. I felt blessed being conscious of higher consciousness at work in creation that is called love and that calls us to be more than we are. The lion shall lie down with the lamb.
And this is followed by Jill's piece. I would choose to be a dog, There is no doubt about that, because I would get such comfort from my owner, and I hope I would give comfort in return. The walks would be very enjoyable, and the time sitting together at home would give me companionship and love from my owner, as I know it would be mutual. It is certainly true, dogs are man's best friend. Dogs are very intelligent. They seem to sense when one needs comfort, and sit beside one and perhaps rest a head on a knee. They seem to understand what is being said to them beyond the commands of stay and come, and they have a way of making their needs known. For instance, food, a drink, or being let out. And Mags chose a sloth. I would like to be a sloth and curl up in a tree and snooze all day to scratch a lifestyle that's just made for me. I wouldn't need to worry, I would be so carefree. The world would be my oyster as far as I could see. If I had some downtime to mingle with the rabble, but I don't have an opposable thumb, so I won't be able to play Scrabble.
And Dermot said he'd like to be a seagull. If I were an animal, I would be a seagull, free to fly anywhere, free to live without a care. No passport would I require, I would go where my heart desired. The world would belong to me, I would be truly free. I could hitch a lift on any ship, I could take my pick.
And Helena also chose a dog. If I were an animal, I would be a dog. Why? Well, a dog is human friendly, the least bit of eye contact, or me and my dog love walking. I'll take you to a forest. Please don't stop at every tree. You are allowed 10 trees. Do you talk to the trees? A sign of a happy dog can be seen by its waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. Oh, I do hope that doggy is for sale. Dogs have good communication with humans. They enjoy walking with humans.
How much is that dog in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that dog in the window? I do hope that dog is for sale.
Now we change the subject to autumn and we start with Dermot's piece. The rustle of leaves beneath your feet means autumn has arrived and you're in for a treat. Autumn temperatures are fine and views you see sublime. Sitting round an open fire, toasted chestnuts you would desire. Maybe a mulled wine or two the evening to get through. Great walking weather too, sweat a lot you will not do. Bales of hay in golden brown will be scattered along the down. Autumn flowers bloom, chrysanthemums and dahlias in tune. The autumn sunshine is of watery hue, never interferes with your view.
And this is from Bob. And so enters soft-eyed autumn, unseduced autumn, because she has been there and knows a thing or two. The fruits of summer are overripe and smell a bit like the woman who was once beautiful and promised much, but has kept all her promises and spoiled everything. So, she dresses in outrageous colours and invents long, warm days and the flirtatious puffs, perfume-scented nights and whispers promises of next year, forgetting the winter to come, but remembering the wine. That's what overindulgence really tastes like and dulls the senses. Autumn is like a hangover. It hurts at the time, but reminds us of the ecstasy that causes it. It leads us into winter to purge our guilty consciences, but all the time safely hidden below the earth or hidden in nuts and roots are the embryos of a greater piss-up next year. Autumn is therefore like a guilt-free sinner, proud of overloading the world with her fecundity, proud of abandoning moderation, ready to shock our prudishness, anxious to seduce or say no at the last minute, happy to disappear if people get bored, but never to die.
And Maureen added this: when I lived in America, autumn was beautiful. I remember the golden tones of the large leaves in Central Park in New York. You could kick these as you went along and they would sound crunchy. And then Helena wrote this: the leaves turn into total beauty, seasons of mists and mellow fruitfulness. How do leaves know to turn to different colours? Oh, come on, Helena, it's the same as time to put on your jersey. I love put on your jersey. It's quite chilly. I want to go for a walk in the garden. The leaves turn brown, succulent colours going up the line. Run for it now, moving fast, that's the secret. Can you keep up with the colour change? Orange? Oh, it's waiting for me. Okay, slow down now. The leaves are autumn. That means 1 minute they are yellow, green, and hold my hand. Why do I have to hold your hand? It's good to slow down with autumn.
And Max wrote, I love the colour of the leaves, the smell of bonfires, walking on a deserted beach, solitude, serenity, a feeling of oneness with Mother Nature, then home to toast my toes by the radiator, snug, secure and safe. I love this time of year, but I have to fight off the urge to hibernate, for I would miss out on so much beauty. And Gina wrote, why does my heart lift when I hear the word autumn? I close my eyes and I see the great trees of Glendalough, resplendent in garments of red and gold edged with a lacy green glistening in the southern sunshine. Trevor and I wander along the Irish lanes, reaching the old Celtic settlement, spreading around a great lake as we stand wrapped and still together. A deer and her child stare at us from the woods. Magic. That's what autumn is to me. At last, sings the trees laden with fruit. The bushes offering their berries to all creatures free of charge, their year-long work fulfilled. The magic of true purpose and generosity. Surely, this is the way we humans were meant to live our lives, enjoying with the song of the trees and all nature. I have planted bulbs for the spring, but I do not protect them. Whether they grow to blossom or provide food for a starving fox in the cold of winter, let it be so. I pray that our world will learn the lesson of, let it be so. A musician wrote a well-loved song, Mother, Mary come to me, singing words of wisdom, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Autumn reminds one that there is connection in my deepest self with harvesting of trees, berries, the endurance of summer flowers still working to provide life for the future. Unless a seed dies, it cannot yield the fruit to come. So much wisdom for the new generation to harvest. May the great trees share their truth, the musicians and poets their hope. autumn to me is an internal sign of our Creator, hope.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in the hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there won't be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There won't be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There won't be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
And the final theme is community, and we're in a community space here.
Bob's thoughts. Community is one of those nice, warm words. Co always means together, so we have companion, bring together, co-op, work together, coordinators, organise together, cooperation, tasks together. Community colleges. I was head of one of those once and tried to promote the idea of a common set of interests which we could all believe in. Then came Alec. He was a communist and believed in everyone having the same aims, always, so long as they were his aims that were less nice and comfortable. And of course, comfortable starts with co, and the Bible speaks of comfortable words. I like to stick with community as a word of hope, where individuals forget their individuality and strive to promote efforts to resolve our individual interests, our joint efforts, celebrating what combines us and perhaps tolerating what divides us. Jo Cox, in her last speech in the House of Commons, said that the world would be a better place if we emphasised kindness rather than concentrating on the things that divide us.
And Helena wrote, "My family is an ongoing community. When you and I say community, family is the first thing that springs to mind. But growing up from childhood I grew up lonely. My sister did not like me at all. I lived in flats until I was 9 years old. I found my community at school amongst the pupils. I played with them earnestly in the communal areas. We played it, chasing one another.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell we go. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It's not to do. Nothing to kill, all that for. And nature too. Imagine all the people living life in free. They say I'm legal, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world is one. Imagine no possession. Wonder if you can. Need for greed or hunger. The brotherhood of man. Imagine all the evil living all the world. You do. They say I'm dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world is one.
Everybody for supporting the event today, for the Dean giving us such beautiful writing, for Tanya and Keith for providing such lovely and supportive environment, for Joe